Hello, hello. Yes, we are live. I'm just setting up my stuff as always. If I can figure it out. I hope everyone is doing well. Okay. Well, good morning, Kelly. As always, let me know if you can hear me and see me. Sorry for the wiggles in the beginning, but that's always like, we're setting it up at the same time. Today we are going to play. And we're going to play Good Morning, Teresa. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Or is it Teresa? I have a friend that says Teresa. Yes, we are going to play with the new stamp sets. These are currently on pre-order because our dear friend Biddy, we all know Biddy Penny, I think. And after this, I will definitely link down to her channel. Yeah, she kind of called and begged, and it was kind of cute. And so I agreed, absolutely. These are going to be actually launching next Sunday. And in that live next Sunday, I will show all the samples that I've created using these 4 stamp sets. This is part of my new launch for the spring and the summer. That's what I call them. So I always have a spring summer launch with my stamps, and then I have a fall and winter. So I just do 2 releases every year. Um, and I get asked, why am I creating these? One, because I enjoy it. It's something new. I am a certified Zentangle instructor, and I do have an introduction course available up in my Podia account for everyone if you're interested in learning what the Zentangle method is all about. But maybe you're not that person that wants to do all of this line work, because that's all it is. It's line work. A lot of people refer to them as doodles, which they are. I like to say they're doodles on steroids. Um, but if you're not into that, but you love the artwork that comes out from it, and you'd love it for your paper products. Here's the vessel that does that. We are going to play with our watercolors today. We're going to do some heat embossing. We're just going to have fun. We're going to create our focal points on top of that. And then I'm going to be using some of actually Biddy's cardstock. So I'll make sure that's linked down below as well, because she has some great focal point images that would just be set right off of these. I'll be featuring her 4 seasons, the Gilded Rose, and also the Rainforest Refuge. So we will be cutting pieces from those as well. And we're kind of going to choose these first so that we can know what our backgrounds may look like with our watercolors. So let's have at it. As I said, these are in pre-order right now. They will start shipping the week of April 7th. So the next day after I go live on April 6th, that's when they're going to start shipping. So they're not shipping now. We're still in pre-order phase. Okay. So these are the 4 sets. We have these strips. These are individual strips. This is not a complete background. You can keep it on the acetate if you want to create that background. but these can be stamped individually. It's called a Tangle Maze, so that you can create your own maze. This is just one of the cards that we've got going on there. So lots of borders and everything else you can create. We have the floral box. So we've got this top piece that you can use as your focal point. Put your sentiment right across that. And then we have these. These are rectangles, easy to fussy cut. We have our tangled block and our designs through there. And then these little tiny blocks as well. And then we have our tangled portal to create all kinds of illusions there, or backgrounds. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Absolutely today. Now, unfortunately, I am only shipping in the United States, but I am currently in the works of finding locations like in the UK and Australia so that they can become, because shipping is just wow, absolutely wow. Let's start with our backgrounds. So I have the watercolor paper I'm using is Canson XL. It is my favorite. No, it's not 100% cotton, but I love the look that it gives. You get these beautiful blooms. You can create those blooms. It's just a wonderful watercolor paper, and it is at a reasonable price. So these are just some backgrounds that I created. And alls I did, these are for 5x7s because I'll be trimming these down to our size. And that's what these are cut to as well. 5x7s. And we'll be doing more as well. We're actually going to do a bunch of different ones. But I wanted to have those ready to show you what I'm going to be doing. All right, let's stop gabbing. Gabby, gabby, gabby. I like to gab. I can't open it. There we go. Oh, okay. Oh, there goes that nail. You can use any watercolors that you have in your stash. Crayola, Prang, have fun with them. You can use your acrylic paints for your backgrounds. You can use gouache, whatever you have, and you can create your own style of backgrounds as well. You can even use pattern paper. That's the beauty of it. So let's just get some colors down. I do like to just activate them with a little bit of water. Get those colors moving, and I'm going to be using, I thought I lost it, just a basic quill brush. And let's have some fun. So I want to create, I love the colors of these. So I want to do one with like reds and purples. I think that'll be cool. And one with some greens and blues. So I like to keep the paper dry. You can wet it first. But I just like to come in, get a lot of color in there, and then scribble. Scribble is awesome. And remember, choose your colors that are like colors. So you can put a yellow to this if you wanted to, because that will just make, you know, your green. But you don't want to put an orange or something like that. That's going to be way dark. We need to get some of that water in there. I'm just dropping it in. Let the watercolors do the work for you. That's the beauty of watercolors. And if you don't like the way that looks, you can add more water to it and just bring it down onto the sides. It's an awesome way to just not think about what you're doing. I'm being careful with that green and purple. And if you think you have too much water, we can add more. Yep, we can just have fun and just add more colors to that. You can try to soften your edges if you want. Yeah, just have fun with it. Cordelia, good morning. How are you? I hope everything's going well. I'm just taking a paper towel, removing some of the excess water on that. Remember, with watercolors, they will dry back, meaning these look bright and vibrant and woof. With that, yes, that's a technical term, but they will dry back, meaning they'll get softer when it comes to their shade. And you can go over it again with more watercolor. You can see I'm holding the brush way back. I do want this saturated. And just having fun. You got to see Shawn yesterday. Oh, that's awesome, Cordelia. This one's a little dry, so I'm going to come in with some darker colors. Just going to come in on those edges. And I took, when I taped these down, I took the tape right to the edge of the paper. So that's going to give me the border that I'm looking for. You see, I'm just going back over. And just creating different levels. And then we'll set these aside to dry. And then we have our other ones. Again, just going to sop up those edges. Even though you tape these down, I'm going to leave that one just the way that it is. I love these hard lines that are going on in there. And all that. So those are our two panels. You can tip them when there's water in there. That water can run. Just by tipping it, it'll move it. You can add more water to it. Just by adding water to this, it'll splatter it. But love the way that looks. And we've got these. So we'll set those aside now. The beauty of watercolors is they do the work for you. Okay. Had to set that aside. Let me move this out of my way. And then I'm going to keep this open to dry as well. There we go. So let's look at these. Now these were cut to 5 by 7, and I'm going to trim them down before I start stamping. And even though your pages will warp, they will go back flat once it's drying. Shawn, good morning. Where did I find my palette? So that palette you can Amazon. I like that palette because of the number, and then there's another one that's got 33. slots on it. I can forget the brand. But yeah, it's a nice big palette. Those small ones make me nuts. Absolutely make me nuts. I'm so glad you had a great lunch. That is awesome. I think I need to move. I'm in the wrong area. So let's trim these down. Again, they were cut 5 by 7. I want them to come down to 6 by 4. And what I'm going to do is, since I know these are 5 by 7 and I had tape just like I did before where I used the width of the tape so I could have this border, we're going to take a 1/2 inch off of each side. I'm going to move my water because I have been having a bad weekend with spilling things, dropping things. I went to, I have this beautiful gold mica ink that I used, and you can see that in the community. We did some of these that I have in the free section, and we turned them into cards. And it's just ink that I use with them. These are the ones that we have in our free community, so you'll see those going up very soon for April. And then we made a sketchbook, and I went, it comes in, so let's see, I need a 1/2 inch. We're going to just measure it this way, because nothing needs to be perfect. And then we'll trim this to 6. And the top that I took out so that I could put it into these tube things that I have went flying across the room. Gold ink, mica ink, is not easy to clean. I'm just saying, you know, somebody once said that it looks like a crime scene with all my white splatters all over my hands. Yeah, this was not fun. Then I made it worse by grabbing one of my towels, you know, cleanup rags, and it had black paste on it. That went everywhere. And somehow, yeah, my cat got into it. So he has this little black mustache where he didn't have it before. It works. He's a tuxedo cat. So it was just not. This went into like 2 days. It just was not good. I did check it out. It is not toxic. I called my vet. It was just a day. But yeah, cleaning up that ink was like glitter. I'm just saying, it was just so like glitter. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I still have it, I think, on me. That's why my hands look the way they do. But that's the fun of creating, right? Oh, now that sounds fun, where you went. We have a great winery near us. Bishops. So they're always fun to go to. Alright, so we have our 4 panels set. Yes, I actually keep these. I use these for collage when I do master boards. Okay. So what I want to do, now unfortunately we're going to hear my heat gun every once in a while. let's just have a play with the blocks and the images and just have fun stamping over this. Even though we're going over the white area, that's okay as well. I think I want to start this one. I think should go with that one. This one I am seeing with that one. I'm seeing this with this one. And we're going to have some fun with the stripes on that one. What do you think? Yes. So we'll get those there. Let's start with this one. Now, since this is watercolor paper, I would and do suggest a stamp positioning tool because it is textured. So if you can get that, you can get that clear image so that we can emboss. I am not going to pre-treat the paper because I like the speckles that stick. This shouldn't though, but because my hands are on it, you know, you've got oil on your hands and I can't get the plastic coating off. There we go. I'm going to use my sticky mat and we'll start in the corner. Hold that down, and I still use magnets. I know. I just still do that. Well, we could probably do 2 of these at once. So let's see if I can get this in the center. The new stand. Yes, these are in pre-order, Cordelia. Biddy called me late. Bless her heart. Late one day. She was texting me. I think she was supposed to be working. She was texting me. Is there any way we can do this? So I said, okay, let's get on a call. And I think I'm going to put this one here. I said, let's talk about it. She goes, I really think it would be a great idea. She goes, I'm very impatient. She goes, I can't wait. And I said, okay. I said, all right. So they are on pre-order because of Biddy. I think, let's get these inked up. Using your clear ink for your stamps, usually we prime them with our hands. When you use your clear ink, that is priming your stamps right away. You don't have to rub them with your hands or an eraser. And I'm going to push down. And I am going to stamp these just a few times. And you can see it's actually, it's kind of cool. It's actually lifting up. Get it very faint on there. And we grab my baby wipes. So this one's all about basic shapes. Easy to fussy cut, easy to have some fun, easy to create your backgrounds. You can also create your backgrounds. Okay, I can't get this up. That's funny. Using your Lost my train of thought. Using your water reactive inks, you can do ink blending, any type of background. And all I'm doing is, I think this one I want silver. And this one I want gold. Never worry about a perfect impression. All right, now unfortunately we're going to hear this awful sound of our heat gun. And just like that, you've got your images. Very simple. Very, very simple. All right, let's do our next one. So we are just going to have a play. That was me dropping thing. I just, whatever, if you guys ever saw what goes on outside of the viewing area, at least when I create, you would laugh. Absolutely laugh. I just drop things. All right, so now we're going to have fun with the square. Hopefully I'll fit this one up in here. Let's get that one in there first. We'll do this one. And we're going to do that one right on. And again, really push down on these. And I'm going to move that one And ow, that one. Yeah, this magnet's really sharp. So yeah, I am still finding gold flecks. And I think that might have shifted, but that's okay. That like that. And then we will be adding to these as well. You could just let these the way that they are, but nah. Let's go with gold. No, let's go with copper. Obnoxious noise. Hello, Maureen. Exactly. Yes. Not everybody, when it comes to Zentangle, okay, that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. Not everybody wants to do Zentangle. It's, you know, people can look at that and say, oh, no, I don't have the patience for it. And I totally get that. Some, like myself, I do find it relaxing. Storms are not my thing. I mean, I'm good with it, but they are not my thing. And sometimes, if I just sit and do this, it does kind of sort of put me at ease. I think I'll put that one there. And then this way, a couple years ago, you know, people were saying, you know, are there stamps out like this? You know, I don't, whether it's the confidence or they didn't want to take the time, you know, to do this. But they love the art. Well, at least these, if they're still interested, now you can have that art and do all kinds of different things with it when it comes to this. And that's the, that's the beauty of stamps. If you don't like to draw, if you don't like to do this, but you love these images, stamps are a great way to get them and gets us creating. For this one, I wanted to almost get back to the basics. And when I say that, I mean, the shapes. I don't have dies yet. I am checking into that. So these are just a little bit easier to cut and have fun with. But that's something great in our community as well. Either level. We will be tangling also. Let's see, I went this way. Let's do this one, silver or gold? Silver or gold? Let's go with gold. I like the gold. I don't know why. Not sure if that one stamped well, but I think it did. And in each of these, it's just one tangle that we added to each of the stamps. Nothing crazy, but just that little bit of background that it gives. Annoying sound, so if you want to turn down your volume again. So Cordelia said, the voicing, did I do something wrong? What's going on? And then our final one. So this one, there's always a favorite, and this one's mine. I think this one is just so universal. With all the different borders that you can create, the different movements. And these are individual tangles as well. And this one, I think, that one coming in like that. And I think our last one will do this. Can I get it in there? Of course not. And I'm not going to cut it. Nope. We'll have that one just come in next to it. I cannot wait, Shawn. So just so everybody knows, Shawn at Manly Made Minute is actually going to be going live after I do on the 6th. And I can only imagine the cards that he created with this collection as well. He absolutely blew me away when it came to my previous release and inspired many cards for me when I did a live. And then we all know Betty. Yeah, maybe I should use this. So I cannot wait to see. And what's great with these, for those that, don't want to take the time to do the line work, whether it's patience or anything like that, you can add colors to them for the shading. What I love about this too is we just do not care about the light source. All right, let's, of course I chose a corner. And like I said, you can keep these right on the acetate if you want them to be a background. They can be set next to each other, except this one, because it's so, it's rounded. And put these back in. And I think I'm going to go with gold on that one too. I'm really into the gold. Okay. Right now, last one, and then we're going to continue to add to these. And there we go. Now, you can absolutely stop right here. You've got some great card fronts. Add your sentiment, and we'll be adding our sentiments. But just by adding a background, whether it's a blended background, whether you've used your watercolors or anything like that, you've just got these hints of the whether it's a deco design or any type of design, you've automatically created that when it comes to them. But we can actually emphasize these just a little bit more in most cases. So, in all you need, you could just simply use a pencil. You know, we use a fancy term for graphite. Um, when it comes to that, but pencil's nothing more than graphite. I do like to use colored chalk pastels, just to add the different colors in here. So I'm going to pull mine in, and I like either the Othellos. Well, I don't think they're called Stabilos, not Othellos. That's a Shakespeare thing. So the Stabilo brand. Now, you don't need all 60, okay? You do not. And I'm actually getting better with not needing every color. I used to be that person. I had to have every color. Yep, every color. No, don't need it. And for this one, we've got all these florals and flourishes and all of that fun stuff. And all you need to do is you want to have a blending tool, blending stump, or the fancy term is a tortillon. They're hollow. This one's solid, so this is a blending stump. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some colors here to the base. Don't worry about your light source. You could add watercolors into these, colored pencils. You don't have to use chalks. And no fancy coloring. You can see I'm scribbling when it comes to this. And then you just take your blending stump and blend that right out. Just pull it up. And you're adding a faint color to this. And you can just take it right up. And by keeping it to the base, you're adding that shade. You're not hiding your beautiful background that you created. But this isn't even specific as well. So, you have to have chalk pastels? Nope. Absolutely not. Colored pencils will work just fine. And then I think this one, no, we're going to let that go up off the top. And let's add a blue to the other side. You just throwing it down there. Now I'll go to the other side. And there you go. Now you add color. So my live Cordelia on the 6th is going to be about the same time. I usually start any time between 9 and 9:30. Because something always comes up. So I just like to say that, you know, that time frame. Here I'm just going to go into the corners, highlight. This is called flux. To highlight the, or no, these are called mucas. And I'm just rubbing along that edge. And that made them pop just a little bit. So you can continue to add more colors to them. Absolutely. These, I'm going to darken these circles here. And then we'll grab a green for these. Don't care about where you're placing it. See, I'm not following any light source. And it can be a straight line, like I'm doing here, just accenting the shape. And that's what we got on that one. The other two, I'm going to let those alone because I like that you've got a lot of colors going on there already. Let's think about our focal points. So for that, I am going to pull in. Let me wipe this down real quick. I'm feeling stuff on the table. See, stove gold. It's just everywhere. It's worse than glitter. Amazing. So here is what's left of my gilded rose. Let's see here. I think I have... I like that. These are by Bitty Penny. I like that one. Love this rainforest. There are some beautiful images in here. Let's see. Where do we want to go with this one? That one I want to save for that panel we just did. Oh, I love the parrots. Love the parrots. And I'll link down to Bitty's channel as well. If you're interested in these gorgeous paper designs. I like the tiger too. And we're going to go with the parrots. I think the parrots hit me first. Yep. And we don't have to do that. And I think for the last one, I'm going to go with the Four Seasons because this is just very, very majestic. That's a possibility. No. That just went out because like that whale. I think that one or that one. Choices, choices. Choices are difficult. Very, very difficult. Oh, good. I'll be glad that I am going to see you. We're going to mat these. And I always do like to mat because we've got a lot going on there, and that just helps to pull that out. And when it comes to your focal, now some may say, okay, this should go on the other one, but we've got these beautiful colors that are actually sitting in here with the copper, and I think that goes really well. And I think I want to change this one. Let's look for a rose. Sticking with the rectangle shapes. All right, let's get some black cardstock. Black cardstock is just one of those staples. Of course not. I'm going to do this. I know I drive people crazy when I do this. I don't measure. Ave, good morning. Welcome. We're just going to say Dr. J. Bronk. I'm sure you all have, names. But welcome. I'm glad you're here too. I don't measure when I'm at. I find the straight edge, I put my piece down, and then I cut around it. By all means, please, if you're more comfortable measuring, please do. Everyone, they're like, well, what size is that? I don't know. I just cut things out. Because if I have to measure, that means I have to think. And I don't want to think. We're being creative. And I just use my long shears and just cut along the side of it. But you can certainly measure these. Measure what your focal point is. And I'm using just the thinnest amount of the mat, because I don't want that to take over. The wider your mat will go, the more it will take over. And I'll have a wider mat that I will cut for when we go to put these on our card bases. Black, just for me, brightens everything. It just makes everything stand out. And you could use white as well. And what that does is, if you use a white or an ivory, that just, it doesn't push it back, it just makes it softer. Now, I am going to cut just a little bit away from this because it's a big piece. And then I will trim it down. you can also do this if you want to use a paper trimmer. You don't have to use scissors. All right. So now our focal points are set. And now we can just play where we want to place them. Like I can use this corner too as a mat. So I like that there. And I think I'm going to put this one just in the center because all that copper coming out, I think that would be great. This one here, I think I'm going to take this one off down the corner. So we'll just have the mat going here. I don't want to take away from those pieces, but I want to see these little guys. And then this one here, I'm going to put right down here in the center. I normally don't like to put anything directly in the center. I kind of like to do things off the edge. I think it adds interest. But these papers, they're perfect for that focal point. Not every card maker stamps. I'm going to set that one off to the side just a little bit. And I'm going to get glue on my table for this one. That's okay. And I want to make sure I've got both of these guys sitting there. And I'm going to flip it over. And that's what's going to tell me if I'm straight when it comes to that. But if it's not, I'm good with that as well. I'm going to let that like that. This one I'll actually put somewhat in the center. But down on the bottom. And this one we will cut away. And I'm just going to use the panel as my guiding edge. And since these panels are going to be put on a black mat, this will then have its mat as well on those corners. And Ave, I did get your message. So yes, I can do that. So again, these were cut 4 by 6. And I want my mat to be 1/4 inch around. So I'm going to cut my panels 4.5 by 6.5. Are making 5 by 7 cards. I am a large size card maker, but these same designs can go with a standard A2 size. You know, as cutting and creating and all of that, we are creatures of habit. And there usually are specific sizes that we like to work with. And that's fine too. So you can do the same thing. You'll just make it smaller. That one I need to recut because see what happens when I measure? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I'm going to keep those there because we are going to use those for our sentiment bases. Whoops. Sorry. Now, since we heat emboss these, the papers did warp, absolutely. Mine always do. They just do. I don't know how anybody can not get their papers to warp. I've heated up my heat gun for minutes and it still works. So I am going to use my 2-inch double-sided film tape. I get this from Uline. I love this tape. And it will flatten these panels out. And that is what I love about this tape. I get asked about this a lot. But it's just my favorite. And I'm just going to get tape on each of these. Good morning, Cheryl. Oh, I'm glad you're excited to be here. I'm excited that you're here. We are just having some fun creating some backgrounds, and I'm showcasing my new stamp launch that will go live April 6th, but it is in pre-order now because we can, I don't know if you want to say thank Biddy for that, but she was funny when she texted because she started out with, Des, I have an idea. Okay. And I always love to hear her ideas. Absolutely. What she said. And all she put in the text was, has to do with a pre-order. So I immediately went to, okay, so she saw something. And nope. She just did not want to wait to play. I loved the sunflowers that she made using the circles. Just ingenious. I love seeing what others come up with and the beautiful creations. I saw yours, Ave. The beautiful creations. No matter what you create with, but when you use my stamps, I'm like, okay, that's just ingenious, that's gorgeous, and it's humbling. It honestly is. It's very humbling for me. No, well, Cheryl, you did not. I gabbed in the beginning, because that's what I do. I gab. So I showed the stamps, but I'm going to be doing some other things with them, depending upon where our time is. Where are we at? Okay. Now I'm just going to remove the release papers. We're going to get them on our mat. These are 5x7s. And then I just hold the corners. I actually like curl it up. I'm like, okay, once I commit, you have committed to its location. It will not, and see, it's mostly flat again. That's why I love this tape. That tape is just, for me, it's magic. It lasts a long time. And I think it's hysterical that I get it from Uline. But it is up there in price, unfortunately. If you use liquid glue, and that's what I would use, is a liquid glue with these. I would not use, I've used them and they work. I wouldn't use a tape runner. For me, tape runners I don't think are solid. They fade eventually and you can peel the stuff right off. But if you use glue, after you have it on your card, just put a heavy book on it and let it dry, and then that'll flatten it out as well. Because we all have plenty of glue. I am a liquid glue girl. We may get to sentiments. We may not. You guys know that have been here for a while. Yes, I will use sentiments, but we put a lot of work on the front of these cards, and I just hate covering it up. I figure the sentiment can go on the inside when we write our message. So there are our 4 cards there. I will be making the obnoxious sound again because we're going to do some ink blending. I know I said this last time. Anybody remember AC Moore's? They had the best packages for card bases. And when they went on sale, oh, they were awesome. Sales were awesome. I miss my AC Moore's. That was a fun craft store. Sorry for the scratching. And because we cut these to 4.5 by 6.5, we're going to get another 1/4-inch border going around our card. So we've got the card base itself is creating its own mat. Sometimes I like to have that in the background. A lot of times I will cut the bases right up to the size of the card as well to cover the whole front. With all of this, I think the multiple mats that you see help make the design come out. Just a little more. And liquid glue just gives you that wiggle. The wiggle, wiggle. Good morning, Anthony. Oh, no, you're never late. That's the beauty of replay. So here are these so far. Show these again at the end. Let's make a couple more. You want to make a couple more? Let me remove these because I really want to hit that. Yes. I love the colors of this. I actually got the watercolors to make that color. All right, I'm going to grab the panel that we did in the beginning, and that's this one. Yeah. I'm going to remove my release. Remember, when we pull papers, keep it back on itself. I try to catch it at the end, and this can be reused. So they just sit off on my table. If you don't catch it at the end, it just coils up. And yeah, it's another reason why I get hollered at. You know, I get it. But you gotta be careful. So as long as you keep it flat on itself, you won't pull the paper. And with the Canson paper, I find, because it's not 100% cotton, you have, you know, that better chance of it not. And that one just coiled on itself because I let it go, sorry. But you can see you get this immediate border right away. But just keeping it flat like that and pulling. Okay. You know, talking, you know, it's like the whole chewing gum and walking. Yeah, I can't do that. Here we go. So these are what I showed in the beginning of the replay. How I just slap that paint right on there. Let the watercolors do the work. Let them have fun. Those panels are cut to 5x7 so that I can trim. But this just needs to come into this somewhere. And we're going to use the maze for this one. Okay. And I am going to trim my papers down first. So I'm going to trim them down to the same size, 4x6. Avi, what type of... It's blocked by... What type of board is that? Okay. So this... Are you talking about this board, Ave? These here, these are called hard. Okay, get this. These are called hardboards. Who ingenious with the name, right? They're Biddy's in the house, so everyone can either say, way to go, Biddy, with the whole pre-order. These are called hardboards. Inventive. They really got creative. I just like them because they're portable. I can put a lot of pieces on them. Do you need something like that? Absolutely not. What works great when you tape down your pieces, this is the Canson XL watercolor pads, whether it's the Bristol, whether it's the watercolor, they have super thick backings on their pads. These are awesome. You can use these as well to tape your pieces down. And after a while, you're going to peel this up with the tape and all of that. But save these. These are also good to make your books and your albums. They are just as thick as chipboard that you would need to buy. Um, so okay, so they're called hardboards. You can get them on Amazon, and they come in different sizes. And yeah, they won't, bend. That chipboard that will bend just a little bit over time. But that can be used. Or you can use, if you have a smaller one of these grids or a cutting board, you can use that as well. I am just a fan of the um, hardboards. Okay. So now, let's see, our last two. This just has to come into this. It's just gotta. I should have made it bigger. Should have made it bigger. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this is 5. I'm going to take a quarter off each side. And I'm going to eyeball this again. We're going to trim it just one more time. I want this to go down to 4 1/4. And then we're going to do the same thing. And I'm using this and the papers as a guide of what I'm cutting off. I'm not worried about if it's even or not. Yeah. If you use your tape, when you tape your pieces down and take it to the edge, you know you're even. And yep, okay, we're going to change that one now. Again, the whole measuring thing just makes me nuts. I just... just makes me nuts. All right, let's do... I really want this to come in here. I know what I'm going to do. All right. We're going to pull in the maze again because I just love that one. That one, we always have a favorite, and that's it for mine. So one of the other things that you can do, and I am going to set this in the center. And I'm going to look at this. So these being so versatile, I'm going to take a piece of Post-it, and we're going to use that from for our mask. So I'm going to put that here. Because we're going to line this up to the edge of our panel, so to speak. And I'm going to take this because I don't want it to, it'll overlap just a little bit. And I'm going to eyeball this. I'm going to bring that down. And we're going to do the same thing here. Post-its are awesome. Just awesome for masks. And we're going to put that there. If we get overlap on everything, I'm not worried about it. Nope. And we're going to continue it on this side. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed that we have it straight. I don't think so, but we're not going to care. I'm going to take this, and we're going to put that down onto the edge. So that's the fun part when it comes to our strips. These tangled strips that we have. You can create borders, you can create frames, you can create a background, and all of that fun stuff. So, Anthony, to catch you up, these are currently in pre-order. And why do you ask? Ask Biddy. Yeah. It was all her idea. Do I cut what exactly in half? Are you asking me that question? And do know that when it comes to these designs, yes, they are definitely hand. Now I'm hoping I'm going to be able to take this and go like this. Could everyone cross their fingers? Please. I can't do it. Because that has a white border, and now this one's going to have a white border. So we're just going to, once it's down, we're going to go with it. The other thing that's awesome with clear ink, whether it's Versamark or anything like that, it really cleans your stamps. So just because we're seeing that black on there, that's not even a worry. It'll be hidden by the gold that we're putting down on these. Alright, we are going to go with a gold. See, it cleans it even more. Just want to get that out of the way real quick. We're going to move these because I'm not going to have to worry about those. Okay, obnoxious noise if you want to turn down your volume. So that's what we've got so far. And now we're going to do the top and the bottom. Now the top and the bottom are going to be a lot easier. Don't spill that, Des. Yes, I talk to myself. Now, I'm wondering, this is a really sticky mat. I'm going to try, we're going to eyeball this. I'm going to put this up on a line, and I'm going to put that up on the line. Because again, I'm not in the mood to measure. By not measuring, we get to see the fun of what we create, right? All right, you need to flatten out though, because now you're just getting on my nerves. Okay. I'm going to try to butt it up to that line. We're going to see how we do. Let's see how we do. I'm hoping I'll just be able to flip it. I should use my presser thingy. I don't know what that's called. That thingy. All right, let's see if I can just flip this panel. I like it when I can just flip. Of course not. So, I do have some OCD when it comes to things. Now, you could just stamp these as well and not go through what I'm going through here to create your frame. But remember, I don't do anything small and I don't do anything easy. Just what I do. So you're all sitting there saying, okay, Des, you know you could do this an easier way. I hear yous. I hear yous. Cover that up. Again, if you want to turn your volumes down. So now you've just created a frame. Again, you could stamp these individually and then fussy cut them instead of doing what I did. But I'm showing you it is possible. I'm going to take my distress tool because I just love this thing. Love my distress tool. Many reasons. One, because of what it does. And two, I don't cut myself with scissors. Because while I am a messy crafter, which I love, except when things fly across the room and I gotta clean them up, I am a klutz. And this is just an awesome tool. It's called a paper distresser. It's actually a thread cutter. So these have been around forever as thread cutters. We reimagined them into paper distressors. Yes. Yes, we do. Absolutely we do. You get these awesome fuzzies. Let me clean those off. There we go. And we know what's coming in next. Everyone say it. I am not sure if there is ever a video that vintage photo will not come in. And that loads up with fuzzies. Black cardstock, because why not? Do I have a piece big enough? Of course I don't. I'm thinking. And when I don't want to measure, I will take my piece, I will set it down, and then I will cut around it. So we're going to add our double-sided film tape to this, because I want to get that onto the panel. I don't know if we're going to see a blizzard on this one. No, I don't think so. No blizzards. Not for this one. Maybe next week. No, not next week. Because we're going live next week with the stamp sets, with all the samples. Okay, that one went on crooked. Who cares? I printed, or I pulled up and started mapping out as well, Teresa, that Four Seasons digital as well. Yes. Yes, I did. That is going to be coming up with what I do with that one. And then I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm just going to trim around this. Again, nothing ever has to be perfect. And now we've got that. I am still in the world that this needs to come into play, because this, and I like it like that, was created with that in mind. And to be honest, it's because I nailed the mixing of the watercolors. So, what we're going to do, we're going to mark it. I'm going to cut on that mark. And we're going to do the bane of my existence. We're going to fussy cut. Oh, here we go. No, that's not the fussy cut I was doing there. Remember, with our pattern papers, they do the work for us. And even if it's a background paper, you can cut shapes out of it. You can cut part of the image. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm seeing these leaves, and I want them to come out of that. So always have fun with your papers, and when you've got a design like this, you can pick and create your own ephemera, die cut pieces. I did that before with one of her paper pads, where I took it on each side, tore it out, and then added a book page in the center of it, and all of that. It changes, it will change the composition of what you're looking at and give you something completely different. And now that's going to sit right there. Yes. Yes. And no, we're not going to frame that. Now, you certainly could frame it. You could absolutely take a piece of black cardstock, let's just say it's this wide, and you could rip it and just have that torn edge coming up. If you wanted to really make this come off that page, absolutely, you could do that as well. Biddy, I am going to be going live next Sunday between 9 and 9:30. It's usually like 9:05, 9:10. Now that I said that, it'll be closer to 9:30. But yeah, anytime in there, because again, things just seem to happen, and I really want to prop that up, right? So, we're going to glue it down. I'm going to let it go. Let it go. And we're just... We're going to unclog the bottle, and we're just going to add that in there. Now, when you're putting a piece like this on top of watercolor, and if you have glue that comes out, you don't want to wipe it away. You may move your watercolor because it will react. There we go. Betty, how are you doing? Oh, Gloria, you snuck in there. Hello. So again, have fun with your papers. And again, Biddy does make it easy for us. It's like having, her paper pads are like having a kit. You've got all your pieces. You've got your backgrounds, you've got your ephemera, you've got your focal points, you've got some sentiments sometimes, you've got everything that just sits right there. So it's like a mini kit. And I'm all about letting things do the work for us, because then that allows us just to create even more. So now we have that one. Let's see, where are we at? One more? Let's do one more. I'm going to take all these things off my table. And y'all don't need to see where I'm putting them. Oh, I'll have to clean that up. Okay. Going to take a piece of watercolor paper. I like watercolor paper. I like mixed media paper. One, because it's thick. I also like Bristol paper because, again, it's thick. But also because it takes a lot of water. And with what we're going to do now, I want it to do that. So, let's say, I'm just going to cut this in half. For right now. Let's say you don't have many ink pads or anything like that. We're going to take that. Nope, I'm not going to ink smush. So we're going to take this. Okay, don't hit my fingers. There we go. And I'm going to use these strips that I saved. You can certainly ink smush if you wanted to. But let's say you don't have a silicone mat, or I'm just doing that to protect the surface here. Or you just don't have that surface. If you take a piece of paper and just take 2 colors of your inks. Now I'm going to take, of course, some odd colors, but you could do this with any 2 that you have. I'm going to use Mist and Night for my Positively inks. Now you can take this directly to your paper and just put that down if you want a huge saturation. I'm just going to get this color down. I don't care about the blend. I don't want to care about the blend. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the watercolors. And I'm just getting the ink down. I want a heavy coat. You can do this with oxides as well. I don't like that color. So just choose one. Don't do what I'm doing. But you can choose to, I'm going to go back to that dusk because I do want it. So you can do that to get more color down. And then real quick blend it so you don't have too harsh of a line. But that's okay if you do. Again, just because you have ink pads does not mean that you... Is this night? Yes. I've done that. I've put the wrong lids on colors. And I'm just going to pull in this different blue. So I'm covering up most of it. Let it be saturated. Okay. Water is your friend. Water is absolutely your friend. And yeah, Biddy, I think the blizzard's going to come in. Okay. I'm going to use the white picket fence. I love this. Really shake them up. But water is your best friend. Get a general spray bottle. Doesn't have to be a distress. And we're just going to spray it. I'm letting it, I'm hardly pushing down. I want these colors to move. I want them to blend. We can tip it. Now we've got these colors just merging together. I'm going to take the white. It's getting chilly. Let's see, questions. Betty, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Betty, I had to move to a bigger glue bomb. Yeah, it was, I just need a bigger tip. I got it, yeah, but I'm fine with the thing. It just makes a horrible scratchy sound, so I apologize for that. Oh, Anthony, enjoy your breakfast if you've not left yet. All right. I'm going to hit this with the white. And we're going to do the same thing. That is how I make a galaxy. I tried it all the different ways, you know, getting your colors down and then going over with the black and all of that. This is how I'll make a galaxy. Now, in reality, I let this dry on its own. I walk away. I I let it do its thing. I don't like to make it upset. And always clean out your nozzles with your sprays, whether it's Distress ink, whether it's the spray stain, whether it's the oxides. Always wipe that nozzle. And it just does what it's going to do. It's just going to do that. Now you've got these 5 points going on where it hit, but it is also expanding out. So with you could add your black inks to this if you want, and then add that pop of yellow and reds to it, and it just is going to go where it's going to go and what it wants to do. But to save time, we need to hit it with a heat gun. So if everyone wants to turn their volume down so you don't hear the heat gun, I'm going to use the powerful one so that we can get this to dry out. Yes, Biddy, it creates that marble effect. And you can see as I'm talking and not hitting it, you're getting these awesome hard lines. The white is kind of spiraling out. And again, when you have it on something, whether it's a piece of paper or even if it's a piece of glass, just by tipping it, you get this extra ink to go back into the piece so that it does what it's going to do. Now I'm going to hit it on this side because I want that ink on the edges to do something as well. And again, I'm not pushing all the way down, but you can see it's just spiraling out. See why I like a huge work surface? Because you've got so much more that it can do. And I'm just hitting those side areas so that it goes down. Now, because this is so big, we are going to cut this down. That makes me sad because I love these edges. Could you imagine having a card this size? That would be awesome. Really, they really need to make those bases like that. I'm just saying. But to have that. But as it continues to dry, I would just keep tipping this back and forth because now you're getting those dark inks to come back through again. And it just crosses over. Now I'll come in with my paper towel and just pick up the sides and just go along the edges. That helps to let it dry as well. I'm not going to talk as long. I could. You all know I could, but I'd love to be with you guys all day. We should plan like an all-day event. Since Biddy convinced me graciously to do the pre-order. I don't know, I'm coming up with an idea, Betty, for us too. But just take it along the side, and it's going to go into the paper towel like it is, and then I just keep refolding it to get that. But I do just like to let these types of panels dry. All right, so you want to keep making this. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. I'm glad you're enjoying this. These are fun. So if you don't like to ink smush, but you need a cardstock that's going to accept all of this water, and it doesn't have to be a silicone mat. It can be like a piece of paper so that you could just keep tilting it. It can be on a wood board. It can be on anything, but tilting it does so much when it comes to this. So if you want to turn your volumes down, I'm just going to run this for like a minute. All right, so that's, and you can see here's the color changed. Now, again, when you, and I'm just going to go along the edges now just to pick up whatever's still damp on this, again, just to save time. I've got color running up underneath it. It's okay. Even with your inks, the color's going to go back. So if you want this darker, you could put another layer on it. It's a better effect for me. It's a stronger effect if you let it dry on its own. Now this panel would dry overnight. Well, okay, I'm just saying. Or I would let it dry for like a couple hours. I'd, you know, go clean something or something like that to get that down. But how can we still get those effects? Okay, very easy. Very easy. We are going to pull in. We're going to get some white. It's actually a white pearl, but that's okay. We'll go with it. And I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. And some clean water. All right, you want clean water for this. And there's my dirty water. So I'm going to grab, I actually have a brush just for splatters. Yes, I know, I'm obsessed. I know. I get it. I hear yous. I hear yous. Oh my goodness, I can't find it. I found it. Never fear. This is a prang brush. It's the perfect size. So what we're going to do, I am going to go into my clean. I'm going to add some water to this. Use my spray bottle. Don't do that. Stay down. We're going to mix that. This is just acrylic paint. White acrylic paint is just fine for your splatters. You don't need anything special. It really doesn't matter what you use. If you have water reactive inks on your panel, it's going to change colors. But for the most part, it's going to hold. And I just need a piece of paper here. Okay. Because we need to not have the blizzard crime scene. So, I'm going to come in first with my white. And this is actually a white pearl, so it's not truly vibrant of a white. But your white acrylic paint would do that. This board is just minimizing all the splatters going around. So you can add that. And then you just let that sit. Here's the difference of the white acrylic paint. It's just titanium white or white. It doesn't have to be titanium white. You can use a dotting tool if you want them to be in special areas. But you just want to get the consistency by adding your water so that it'll come off the brush. You can use the acrylic block method. I tried that once. I have to think. I don't want to think. So if we put this down, now you can see they're brighter. So there's the difference. But we've got a little bit of shimmer. I've got splatters all over the place. This is not stopping anything. It's on my scissors again. So you've got that. And then finally, use water. Use your water. By flipping water on here, it's going to move the white back around. It's going to create that stargaze. And since these are reactive inks, that's how you'll get the effect of, it's a crime scene over here, of the same thing if you let it dry. So again, so many different ways to do, I have it on my scissors. Yeah. See, I still have the remnants of the last time we did this. Just going to wipe these up just to minimize them. I'll be able to clean them. Well, at least I had paper down. But water will do the same thing. And you can see it's starting to puddle. It's starting to create all of those. I know, wasteful. I get it. But that's about to run into the piece, and I don't want that to run into the piece. Now, even with this you can hit with your heat gun as well. You will not lose those markings. So again, if you want to turn down your volume, we're going to hit this as well to get this dry. Save some time. No, my picket fence was not oxide. It's the Distress stain, spray stain. But it is really cool once it touches stuff. It just, it blossoms when it hits. I'll wet a towel, just a little bit, and then just dab up those areas that are being stubborn because I'm impatient. And you can see what it's creating. But the paper towel is just a little bit wet as well, and it's going to create possibly a pattern on there instead of dry. Because if you see, your dye inks will have this underlying color as well. And I always want to keep it as true as I can to the colors. So when you look up here, you've got this purple that's emerging, and that was from that night, the night ink. It's an undertone that's sitting in there, and sometimes I just don't want that to come out too far. And that's how I'll create that night sky. I create the panel larger so that I can at least tape it down to whatever surface. Have a good day, Shawn. That you've got, and then you've got this sheen to it with the pearl on that. So that's just a tip. That's how I'll do a night sky. Again, it looks great if you add some black in there as well, because that just makes it even deeper. All right, so what are we going to do with this? I don't know. I really like it that size. I'm just saying. So what size is this? Okay, so it is 6, and I think it's by 9. It is. Okay. So we are going to cut this down. We are. Yep. But we are going to save some of the pieces, because I do want to cut this down for our card base. Oh, okay. I have some ink on the other side, don't I? Well, yes, I do. There it is. Okay. I'll just wipe that with our hands. Okay, all gone. Let's see. 5 by 7. So 5 1/4. 4 3/4. So I'm taking it down to 4 3/4. And now we're going to take this down to 6 3/4. So I'm going to first cut this here. And I'm going to see what 6 3/4 looks like here. Oh my. Okay, no, we're going to go with it. I see these. All right. And you can see that's your difference as well. I'm going to use my piece here, and we're actually going to cut this down to be 5 by 7. We're going to take up the whole card front. And I'm going to use a stamp set from the Portal. If I can find it. thinking. Okay. I was debating something, and I'm going to go with my clear ink. Now, there may be something that's still damp on here, and I'm fine with that. If the gold, we're going to use gold embossing powder, and I'm going to use my presser. That's what I call it. I call this a presser. And we are going to stamp this multiple times. Oh, and I have to use that loud heat gun again. Oh, I'm so sorry. Remember, with your thicker papers like your watercolor or your Bristol papers, you could do this. You could do the same technique on Bristol paper as well. Now I'm going to go over this entire piece because there are areas that are still damp. And yeah, that just went all over the place. And again, it's just a fun effect. Well, just wipe that away. Please know I do vacuum a lot. This looks great as it is, but can you really see that? Sure, if you turn it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull in my white chalk, and we're going to add this into the points. Again, you do not need to be neat with this. Just get your chalk down in there. I'm only going to hit this one corner, or the corners of each of these, because then what we're going to do is we're going to blend it out. And then that is going to help make this stand out even more. Bring in your blending stump, Q-tip, tortillon, whatever you want to call it. And the beauty about putting the chalk down when you blend this out, you don't lose the design. You can still see all of that work that you put into your galaxy. So that was my thought process when it came down to the names. So when I did the circles, I saw portals, ways into another galaxy or another land, another thought, all of that. And now you can see it. All right, so now we're going to get this. So when I go live, it's between 9 and 9:30 in Eastern time. I am along the East Coast. And we're going to do all kinds of, after I show all the samples, we're all going to go over and see Shawn. I shouldn't have cut that, but I can do it. And then we'll do, you guys will get to choose in the, as I said, I have a community that's going to be launching that day as well, like formally. It's already live because I'm testing things out. There's a free, and then there is a paid section, and you'll be able to see everything that's going to go on in there. I'm about to put April's projects in for both. Let's put that there. And we'll put this on our card base. So that will be formally announced as well. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun projects, you know, like this. Different things that you can do with supplies that we already have. And then clean out the nozzle. See, they clog up. Anybody that says they don't, you know, they're funny. They're just funny. And this is going to cover our entire card front. So I'm just going to line that up with the card. And then one last touch. These are just random. Yeah, gotta have that one specific. I don't know if I want that one. Alright, this will be fun if I spill these. Or if I want this one. That's too small. Let's see how long Des will fight with that. Okay. And that'll go in there. Oh, let's see if I can find that. Will it pick up? Yes, so we could just... Okay, let's see what we did. Nobody needs to see the outer part of where all of this is just being pushed. So in a forever amount of time, we have created 6 cards. All right. So again, my stamps are in pre-order, and I'll put these back together so that you can see them. So if you're interested, you can place your order now. The stamps will not ship until the week of the 7th, so please be patient. They are a-coming. They will formally go live. I put that in crooked, and that's okay. They'll formally go live on April 6th, about 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's where I'll show you all the different samples that I have made, and then Shawn will be going live after that. I love the difference on how people interpret what they're seeing when it comes to the stamps. I just think that's awesome, and I think that's fun just to be inspired by what you're seeing. Techniques that you can use with the stash that you already have. But as I said, these are in pre-order. These are the 4 sets. Again, tangled block, a tangled flora box, a tangled maze, and our tangled portal. All right, and we use those for backgrounds to highlight our focal points. Again, just using gold or silver, any type of metallic or any type of embossing powder you have. I did a watercolor base, just threw it down there, left white space. White space is our friend. Just stamped some of the images. I added a little bit of chalk to this. We have one of those beautiful roses from Biddy's Gilded Rose paper collection, and just added a very thin black border to this, because this is the focal point. This is the background. And then added our mats. This one here, using the Tangled Maze, just can create this all different ways, have fun with it. Again, this is from her Four Seasons paper pad, but again, just added these different watercolors just to shoot out from it. But these you can create borders as well. Don't do what I did, because you'll go crazy. You can stamp them individually and then fussy cut them. You can miter them if you want, and then just have them around. So we did that around a watercolor panel that I was pretty impressed with myself, that I was able to match these colors. So we took a piece of the rainforest. Is that what it's called? Rainforest? I think it's rainforest, something. And fussy cut along that to have that be a focal point, to have that be a die cut. So do that with your papers as well, but just created this beautiful gold frame to go with that. The blocks we created and just set them in different areas. And even though this here is from the Four Seasons as well, and it's got a blue, it's got these colors, so they're tumbling and they're turning. So sometimes people say, you know, why did you choose that? Again, your eye will tell you, no, these are all going together. Thought the parrots were perfect for this, with our portals in both gold and silver. Again, they can just add to a background to give it that texture. Maybe you're not a 6x6 background stamp person, but these here, even though they're small, you could fill up a whole background and then have fun adding your colors. And then finally, just showed you, this is how I do a galaxy. Just get those colors down, let them get saturated. Water is your friend. Water is absolutely your friend, and it can give you all of these different effects and bobbles when it comes to all of that. And then to make this portal stand out as part of the galaxy, I just added some white chalk. You could add a white colored pencil. It doesn't have to be chalk. You can do a colored pencil and still blend it out this way. What's nice is you still see what's underneath it. You don't lose all of that time that you took to create that background panel. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that I've inspired you to dig into your stash, dig into what you have, create backgrounds, have fun with your watercolors. You don't have to think about it. We started out by creating this panel here and a panel we did not get to that I cannot find right now. Yeah. Nope, I have no idea where it went because if you only also, I found it. Rainforest Refuge is what that's called. Just throw your colors down. Let the watercolors do the work. They'll blend, they'll move. Just make sure you're using like colors so that we don't create that brown, unless you're looking for that brown, aka mud. We started out with that, then we did some stamping on these four with panels I had already created. Then we created a frame featuring the stamp set, which I think is just really cool. And then we just had fun because I see a galaxy here, so to create the galaxy background. So again, I didn't add any sentiments, and I'm laughing because when I don't add sentiments, these do become my thank you cards when it comes to my orders. Um, Again, I'm gathering up, collections, and when I put a sentiment on, I'm committed. So not having a sentiment, we did a lot of work on these. Why cover that up? Why do that? So I can always shift that out. So yes, Ave, you may get one of these. Yes. So this is what I use. Oh, Sharon, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Um, I think the Galaxy was fun, and it's different every time you do it. So if you don't like that act of ink smushing, just throw it down. Water. Water is awesome. Just make sure your inks are water reactive. And make sure you're using inks in those like colors again. So don't use a yellow and a purple. Nope, 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 nope. Although you will get a cool effect. Um, just, red, yellow, orange, or yellow, blue, and purple. Just be careful with the yellow and that purple coming and keep them separate because you'll get a green when it comes to the blues. It does beautiful work and accent because let it do itself. Be patient though. Let it dry on its own. But you can create more of that effect when you come in with just clear water. Just splatter water on like we do our acrylics or any other type of thing on top of it. I have, oh, okay, and so any of these. Okay, I get you. All right, all right. I'll make a note. I want the blue one. Or this one. Okay. All right. But as I said, the stamps are up on pre-order. I hope to see you all next Sunday. There is going to be a lot of announcements. The stamps, the community, and I hope you'll all join me in the free community. Again, the paid community just goes one more step. We go into a little bit more detail, but the same aspects are going to be in both. We just take it up a notch, where in our free community, we are our paper manipulators, and in the paid, we bring it to life. So that's what I like to think about the community. But I hope to see you in either one of them. That's going to be launched, and we've got some other announcements that are coming that are just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here. I am truly grateful, appreciative, humbled, and honored to have you all here. And my ultimate goal is to inspire you. Dig into this collection that we have gathered because we've all done this. We watch all of these wonderful creators and we see what they use and we have to have it. Absolutely. But now they're sitting on a shelf and they're collecting dust. So let's find that other way to use those items, whether you want to call it mixed media, whether you want to call it abstract, that can be part of our cards as well. Maybe you're not a stamper. Maybe you're done stamping. we can still make cards and we don't have to do a lot of the work, right? That's what I want to inspire you with. All right. But thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait until next Sunday. I am very, very excited. And I hope to see you all there. I love you all and appreciate you all. Remember, continue to stay safe and healthy. Absolutely. Be creative in everything you do every day, no matter what it is. And we'll talk in the next one. Till then, guys, take care. Love you all.